Shut up, Smarks. Ring Ross Redux. No, I won't tap out. I won't tap out. All of you butthurt suck. Just stop watching Raw. Stop watching Raw. And hopefully on his road to recovery, he won't get a flat tire. This is Fatboy Mark Jabroni. You're listening to Ring Rust, now part of the Club Kayfabe creative community. So, the big thing this week, tally-ho. TLC on the WWE Network for the Raw brand at the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So, during the pre-show, Sasha Banks faced Alicia Fox, causing a little bit crazy, but without cats lady. So she's crazy, but she doesn't have cats, so it's not a crazy cat lady. She's just a crazy, I don't know. Anyway, I guess catless lady? That's even worse, I think. Being crazy without having the excuse of having cats. It's like, sure, I talk to myself, but at least I got cats. Right, Gertrude? Meow. So, anyway. Banks forced Fox to submit to the bank statement to win the match. So, was it a Force Fox 5? Sort of, because there wasn't 5, but she forced Fox to. Anyway, so, yeah, I did predict that Sasha Banks would come out, would win that match, because why wouldn't she? How couldn't she? So, yeah, sorry, Alicia Fox, as much as I like her, you know. Wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers, as my mother used to say. The Club Kayfabe creative community, bringing together creative people from all walks of life and giving them a platform to show off their talents. Podcasters, artists, cosplayers, authors. Check out all the information about Club Kayfabe creative community at ckcconline.com. The actual TLC pay-per-view started with the main roster debut, or maybe the RAW-STER roster, because it's a Raw paper of Asuka, who faced Emma, and of course defeated her with an Asuka lock. So I don't think anyone would have taken your bet if you had said, I think Emma's going to win this match. No, actually, I guess they would have taken the bet. I mean, they said, okay, $1,000 says Emma's going to win. Okay, then. All right. I'll see you right after the show you give me my $1,000. So, anyway, yeah, I kind of, much like almost pretty much literally the entire complement of the WWE Universe, I predicted that Asuka was going to win. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are some steadfast Emma fans who said, this is her time to shine. Hashtag whatever she wants it to be her hashtag right now, which would be a funny hashtag. Yes, hashtag. You are listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. Now part of the Club Kayfabe creative community. So next up, we saw the team of Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann, who I called Cars, because Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann. They faced Gentleman Jack Gallagher and the Brian Kendrick, who I called the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, because they're not really acting much like gentlemen. Alexander performed a lumbar check on Kendrick to score the win. And after that, yeah, he just wouldn't let go, I guess. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV.
Ow, pointy! Oh, moving! Woohoo! Get it, go up! No! Marge, it takes two to lie, one to lie, and one to listen.
What does that mean?
You're listening to wrestling superstar, the Triple X Sex Express Sexy Eddie, and you're listening to Ring Rust, the one and only wrestling talk radio show.
Now part of the Club Kayfabe creative community. So just as the swelling was going down for the Asuka-Emma match, I had to roll right back over onto my back again because Alexa Bliss defended her Raw Women's Championship next against Mickie James. In the climax, Bliss performed a snap DDT on James to retain the title. After the match, Mickie was interviewed in the ring and said that this would not be her last championship match and she would become champion again. Not that night, of course, but, well, fingers crossed she'll get another chance sometime soon or down the road or whatever for either the Raw Championship or she'll get traded back to SmackDown and she'll vie for the SmackDown one. So, either way, man, that look on Lexa's face after she won, and of course the next night on Raw she was just spiteful at the thought that Mickie James would come after her and try to win her title. And now she's going after Natalya for Survivor Series, where it's champion against champion, except not, championship against championship. But, oh well, spiteful nonetheless. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. My God, they were such losers. This is Fanboy Mark Jabroni. You are listening to Ring Rust, now part of the Club Kayfabe creative community. Kalisto defended the Cruiserweight Championship against Enzo Amore. In the climax of that match, Amore poked the eye of Kalisto while the referee was distracted and executed a Jadunzo on the champion to win the title for a record-tying second time. After the match, Amore was interviewed in the ring and said that the WWE Universe does not deserve a thank you. So, thanks anyway. But then again, maybe he thought they didn't want it hard enough. Because after all, the opposite of hard is something I'm going to spell out for you. It's that time of year again. Time to get in your votes for the Ring Rust year-end Top 50 Countdown, where I run down my favorite and your favorite wrestling-related songs and wrestling entrance themes from 50 all the way to number 1. Just like CHMR's Ring Rust on Facebook, and post your vote in the appropriate thread. Check it out on the last Friday of this year and the first Friday of next year. This week's Macho Fact. Smart cops sleep with Randy Savage under their pillow. And a macho man has Jesse's girl. Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/ringrust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkJabroni. And subscribe to Jabronology TV, youtube.com/fanboymarkjabroni. Now part of the Club Kayfabe creative community. So, I guess I should probably do a quick recap of what I predicted of those matches so far. So, I believe I left off with the Asuka Emma match. So I did predict that the team of Kurz, Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann, it's a lame joke, were going to win their match. I predicted also Kalisto was going to defend his title, because that's what I do. I predict that people will defend their titles usually, and this time around it didn't work out. So, and I did predict Mickie James was going to win that match. Not necessarily, win the title, but I did predict she was going to win the match, so I'm not especially disappointed or anything in that. I just still enjoy the match. So next we have the Demon, Finn Balor, taking on SmackDown's AJ Styles. But wait, slam on the brake 1 second. I thought he was taking on Bray Wyatt. Well, unfortunately, however, on October 20th, due to medical issues, AJ Styles from SmackDown replaced Bray Wyatt as the Demon's opponent at TLC, with the explanation being that Raw General Manager Kurt Angle contacted SmackDown General Manager Daniel Bryan, who allowed the one-night-only appearance due to the unfortunate circumstances of both Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns falling sick. So, yeah. Balor performed a coup de grace on Styles for the win. After the match, the two showed mutual respect and gestured the too sweet hand symbol to each other. In case you don't know what's going on, because you only watch WWE and you call yourself a wrestling fan. Glare, glare, glare. They used to be both at the same time. I think they were both in the same time. They both used to be in the Bullet Club, when it was more centered around just being in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, Bullet Club has expanded to Ring of Honor and various other wrestling promotions as well. And I think that was before the Young Bucks joined, I think. So after the two of them left and went to more North American pastures, not necessarily greener, but at least more, I don't have to fly nearly so far and stay in Japan for 6 months and wrestle and then go back to, anyway. But they made the same money. Anyone, like, if you ask MVP, he goes to Japan for 6 months, comes back and wrestles in the United States for the other 6 months. He makes the same money he made in WWE. So, I mean, you get handsomely compensated for being in Japan for 6 months and wrestling, not just the notoriety of being famous. Hell of a match. I did certainly enjoy it. Of course, I didn't predict it properly because I thought Bray Wyatt was going to win, but oh well, radio shrug. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV.
You there!
What's your story?
I'm Ernie Devlin, and I don't question it.
Oh, I like that. Don't budge. I'm taking your mind. Mind encryption, perhaps?
It says right here, diagnosis, fractured ass. Oh, is it hot in here? Or was I just engulfed in flames? And broads.
This is Fanboy Mark Jabroni. You are listening to Ring Rust, now part of the Club Kayfabe creative community. So in the penultimate match from WWE TLC on the WWE Network, Jason Jordan faced Elias in an impromptu match, which I didn't predict because it was impromptu. They just made it up, sort of just had it happen. Throughout the night, Jordan kept interrupting Elias as he tried playing his guitar for the live audience by throwing vegetables at him. Their impromptu match ended when Jordan pinned Elias with a roll-up to win. Because Elias Sampson. Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/ringrust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkJabroni. And subscribe to Jabronology TV, youtube.com/fanboymarkjabroni. Now part of the Club Kayfabe creative community. And in the main event, Raw Tag Champions Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, known by me as Architect Fringe, teamed up with Kurt Angle, the WWE Hall of Famer, in his first WWE match in 11 years against Salvation Smarmy, which was The Miz, Intercontinental Champion, The Bar, Cesaro and Sheamus, and Monsters University, Braun Strowman and Kane, in a 5-on-3 handicap tables, ladders, and chairs match. And Rollins performed a ripcord knee on Miz at the conclusion of the match, which was followed by dirty deeds for Ambrose and an angle slam from, well, Kurt Angle. Ambrose, Rollins, and Angle then performed the Shield's triple powerbomb on Miz, with Angle pinning Miz to win the match. So that was rather epic conclusion to a ended up surprisingly, I think, actually epic pay-per-view. It ended up being a bit better than a lot of people thought when it was announced that, well, for one thing, the whole AJ Styles Finn Balor thing really got a lot of people buzzing. But Kurt Angle wrestling for the first time in WWE in 11 years really got people buzzing too. So that was something else to see. That was one hell of a pay-per-view. Of course, I put a question mark by that because technically I did predict that the Shield would win. But Kurt Angle's not officially a part of the Shield, and he was the one who actually scored the pinfall. So I predicted 3 right. I got 2 wrong, and 2 of them have question marks because, like I said, it was 2 people had to be replaced due to sickness. So I'm not complaining. It was a decent show. It was fun to watch. I just wish I had been able to watch it with somebody else because that makes it all that more fun. That's it for another show, kiddies. Check me out on Facebook, where you can keep track of all the news that's right on the mark, from around ringside to the latest concerts. See you at the shows. Later days.
This is 93.5 CHMR FM.